It's here! The Equinox expansion has finally released. I'm Amoni Pinala, and this is my analysis post-release of Equinox. After months of hype and buzz, Equinox is finally here. This is the expansion that brings with it changes to Sovnal and surprising changes to Wormhole, Lowsec, and much more. CCP Games released the Equinox expansion for EVE Online 11 June. The elements of that expansion won't be live until 20 June. Things like the Paragon Hub, where players can sell their custom skins, will go live on that later date. Players can still play around with the customized skins, and indeed, I've seen a number of creative color schemes from Alliance mates who've already begun tinkering, but mostly it's just turning ships into giant space dicks. It's nice to know that if you have one, or if you are one, you can also look like one too. Thanks, CCP. Aside from that, I wanted to give some overall impressions. In my previous videos, I speculated fighting over resources would become a top priority, and it looks like the design of skyhooks combined with the scarcity of resources will push player alliances to do just that. Additionally, the requirements to keep player-owned stargates, called Ansiblexes, has now become so cost-prohibitive that it will require strategic rethinking of territory and projection. But CCP can't give out good things without making sure to fuck over someone else. As per usual, it was wormholers who got bludgeon and boot. With Equinox, wormhole combat anomalies in C5 and C6 wormholes require you to have a capital-sized ship on grid in order to spawn drifter response battleships. Even though the difficulty to these sites remains the same, wormholers will now no longer be able to breeze through the combat anomalies using marauders, and instead must switch to dreads. Properly fit marauders can cost about as much as entry-level dreadnoughts, but the real drawback is in the lengthy siege times. Marauders have a mini-siege module called Bastion, which cycles in 1-minute increments. When it is active, you can't move, can't warp, can't really do much besides tank and shoot. Dreads use the siege module, which is a 5-minute cycle time. That's a significantly longer time to stay on grid. Though it is true that some wormholers have preferred to crab in dreads, it was always nice to be able to use marauders, especially since marauders had applications outside of crabbing. In the long run, it probably won't be a big deal, but it certainly made me frustrated that CCP decided to mess with a good thing. Moreover, CCP also nerfed the luxury yacht. This yacht was notable for its ability to fit a Kovop's cloak, a nullifier, and with its bonuses to nullification, you could activate the nullifier, jump a wormhole, turn around, jump again, and activate that nullifier once more. It was easily a favorite among wormhole groups for those spicy rolling situations, or for contesting wormhole control. CCP nerfed the yacht by changing its fitting restrictions, making it virtually impossible to use as a roller. Personally, I think this was a big fuck you to wormholers. CCP said they didn't want the yacht to be perfectly uncatchable roller, but I don't think that's what the yacht was. Yes, it's true that the yacht was nigh uncatchable, but it also required several passes to roll extra large and large holes. That's not saying anything about the high cost of yachts. It wasn't the clutch victory ship that CCP made it out to be in their patch notes. I know that change is hard, and the oldest parts of my brain are resistant to change, but I can't help but feel like CCP frequently gives other parts of space all kinds of goodies and frequently takes away from wormhole space. Maybe I'm overestimating the importance of these changes. Living in Sovnal has definitely changed my perspective on wormhole living. Carriers can now fit a number of modules that make carriers useful in niche applications. They can now fit their own capital-sized micro-jump drive that will hurtle them 250 kilometers in whatever direction the carrier is facing. Similarly, carriers can now be used as giant boosters when fitted with the new capital micro-jump field generator. More importantly is that if you train the relevant cap skills, you can use a capital to conduit a small fleet up to 30 pilots at max skills. Carriers also have faction fighters. None of this is really going to fix the problem with carriers. If you've seen my big tie-dye fight videos, you know that performance in-game significantly drops as more and more people deploy drones. Carriers have that problem multiplied exponentially, which makes them almost unusable in practical PvP applications. Doomsday weapons are getting boosted to double the damage. Previously, a max skill Titan pilot could expect 1.5 million damage from their Doomsday weapon, but as of Equinox, they can now expect to see 3 million damage. I'm sure this will really impress all the homies at the Vigils, which is about the only time I've ever seen these weapons deployed, and they weren't even shooting anyone. Overall, I think the changes to Sobno will be interesting. Neither good nor bad. Interesting. I think there will be areas where it will be painful, and opportunities for it to be a lot of fun. I think the only people who will really notice a negative impact are wormholers, but again, I could be overstating the impact of these balance changes. I'm looking forward to finding out what is possible moving forward. Also, hey, I've got some fun news. I'm doing a giveaway of an Empyrean Outlaws skin for the Worm. In order to participate, you need to be a subscriber to the channel, and I want you to comment letting me know which of my videos is your favorite and what you'd like to see next. Make sure to let me know what your in-game name is so I can send you a contract with the skin if you win. I may do more giveaways like this in the future, so be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends who play EVE Online. Fly dangerously, folks.